Hey guys, I'm going to talk to you today about personalized learning playlists. If you remember, we kind of started and then we had a fire drill and then we just kind of stopped our meeting. So, if you'll just watch this video, you'll learn everything you need to know about playlists. If you still have questions, feel free to ask me or Miss Jackson or Mr. Rhodes. They've been working with playlists with me in the past couple weeks. So, what is a playlist? A playlist is a sequence of resources and/or activities for students to complete. It's kind of like a choice board, but it's in list format, and instead of just completing certain things, they complete all the activities. It can be digital or print, but you give the students everything they need to complete everything from the beginning. So I said it was kind of like a choice board. So the playlist though is more intentional, and it is set to a sequence. It goes with the depth of knowledge levels 1 to 4, increasingly harder as it gets down, or increasing the level as it goes down. Same with SAMR, it increases the level of technology integration as it goes down the list. You can customize for groups or for each student, and the students complete everything on the playlist. And it's also backed by research. The research says that it provides differentiation, technology use, scaffolding, self directed learning, and small group instruction. If you want to know more, you can look at John Hattie's research on it. So there's some different types of playlist instructional models. And I want to show you first some videos of Miss Jackson's class when we first used it in her classroom. So if you'll go to the PowerPoint or go to the slide deck and watch these 4 short videos, you'll kind of see the playlist in action. You'll see the students collaborating, and you'll see the teachers actively monitoring students. So here's kind of how the playlist flows through a school day or through a period or through a week or through a unit, depending on what you want to program it for. You start with a whole group opening where you kind of explain what's going on. Then the students do a warm up independently or collaboratively. Then they work on some digital content to learn independently. They do a check for understanding independently. And then you stop. This is really important. The student meets with the teacher either 1-to-1 or in a small group. And this allows the teacher to check for understanding and make sure the student's ready to move on to the next steps. Then the student practices the skill, takes a formative assessment, and then does a reflection. So, what are the benefits of using this? Student academic ownership is a huge benefit. You as a teacher have more time for small group instruction and one-on-one instruction and can do it more often. The students get choice and voice in what they're doing. It's intentional learning. The students can access learning anywhere, anytime. And as we noticed, the disruptive behaviors go away because they're engaged. So there's different kinds of playlists that you can implement. You could do a playlist only. You could do a stations-based playlist where the students all go to different stations and groups. You could do a flipped classroom approach, or you could do a whole group playlist. So let's talk about designing playlists and the things that you need to consider. So first, identify your learning standard and learning outcome. Then organize the task into parts. Choose the format or template that works best for your students or content area. And plan the activities, but focus on the content and then enhance the activity with technology. So here's some suggestions as you implement playlists. Start small, implement one section at a time. This will ease everybody into the new classroom environment because it's a different kind of environment. You have to give up a lot of control for your students to be successful with playlists. The key to this being successful is the 1-to-1 student and small group time for remediation or extension. If you program multiple activities per section, you're further personalizing their learning experience and giving the students more choice and voice. And then make sure you're choosing engaging activities. So you want them to be higher than substitution on the SAMR model. And many of the activities on the playlist come from different tech tools that we have subscriptions to. And you're not going to have to reinvent the wheel or do a lot of pre-work, just kind of assign things to the students. Let's look at the SAMR scale and see where different technologies fall on that scale. So with substitution, you're just kind of replacing a worksheet or a paper task with a digital task. With augmentation, you're starting to create something new. With modification, you're building or creating something totally new. And redefinition is the student taking ownership and transforming their learning by creating a product. These tools also fall on the depth of knowledge. And as I said earlier, you want to start with a level 1 at the beginning of the playlist and work your way down to a level 3 or 4. Let's look at different types of playlists. Here's a checklist style playlist that is just very easy to check off. You could do an activity style where you list the activities out. You could do a hyperdoc style where you just have them all linked. You can also do a graphics style, a game board style, a group style, or standards aligned where you just focus on one standard for every activities. I love review and practice playlists because it really gives the students independent time to practice before a test, and it gives you time to try and fill in any gaps or clarify any confusing factors that the students may have. You could do a thematic playlist where it's used for arranging standards around a topic, like a certain literature topic or a history topic. There's also project or performance task playlists. These work well with writing, where you go through the writing process in different steps down the playlist, and then their final product is a performance task of writing a narrative or an essay or what have you. And then finally, the 5 E's. So this is for science and math, and the playlist is based on the 5E model that we use. Now, you're probably wondering where you get all these fabulous resources. Well, I made you a Wakelet with all of this stuff in it. We're going to go there next, but before that, if you need anything with playlists, any help making them, teaching them, implementing them, just request me with an email or through this form. Let's check out the Wakelet. So here's the Wakelet, and I have everything you need on here to be successful with playlists. I have templates, resources, ready to use examples, classroom tutorials, and the slide deck. Everything is linked and ready to go. Take a look, play around with it. Let me know how I can support you. Thanks for your time. Bye.